regardless of how you may feel about these two games, it doesn't matter because the Lakers beat the Brooklyn Nets in a whopping fashion by 22 points on Saturday.
Isn't it funny how they're like, oh, well, Durant was on limited minutes and Kyrie only got ejected, and everyone's already making up excuses. Harden's hurt. Was Harden playing? No, right? No,
Harden was out.
Yeah, he was out. So you see everybody coming out with excuses already, but yet you guys got beat by our bench, which is hilarious. But I did not know that we're rated 2 in defense with this squad. Which is weird.
So when AD went out, the Lakers were still first in defense with LeBron James. LeBron goes out because of the John Wilkes Booth guy from Atlanta Hawks taking out his leg. Or like he Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Nancy Kerrigan, LeBron James. And then essentially like the Lakers were like, oh no, what are we going to do? They still had the defense, the prowess. Now, granted, they took a step back with LeBron being out, but only just one step back, not a whole freaking step of stairs.
Yeah, and these were some well, not really teams, but these were some games that we could afford. Like we said the last couple of shows, we really needed to stop losing because we need to start winning again. But we're still good. Like in the standings, what are we, 5th still? 4th, 5th?
The Lakers are currently in the. Hold on, sorry. Let me get the standings because I have.
Because remember last time I checked, we're 4th. So
5th.
We are 5th. Okay. So we're that's okay. That's like right. That's the bottom for us. So then we need to start working our way back up again.
So this is what the current standings are as of right now. If the Lakers have an off chance of getting to the 2nd seed, the Phoenix Suns currently occupy it at 38 and 15. The Clippers are in the 3rd seed with 37 and 18. The Denver Nuggets, who just lost Jamal Murray, torn ACL in last night's game against the Nuggets, 34 and 20. The Lakers are then 33 and 21. And the Portland Trailblazers are just behind the Lakers at 31 and 22.
Oh, look at Portland right behind us.
The Lakers are a game in back of Denver and about 3.5 games back of the Clippers. So, look, I think if you get home court advantage against the Denver Nuggets, that might be the best option for the Lakers.
Especially right now. It sucks that Jamal Murray's out. No one wants to see anybody with an injury, and it sucks. But I mean. Unfortunately, in this case, I mean, it might be good for the Lakers, and then we could start kind of like building wins again, especially against a team like them.
Yeah.
But it just depends on what they're going to do to kind of like fill that hole because he's done for the series.
For the season, yeah.
Not till like at least another year, I think.
It's normally like the soonest I think I've ever heard of someone recovering from a torn ACL was like 8 months.
Oh yeah,
but that's even considered freakish. So I'm not sure if like the surgeries can get him to recover just on that timeline, but. Yeah, it's going to be a while.
Yeah, so that's going to change a little bit of everything. So the Suns, though, I'm surprised with the Suns. I mean, I saw this floating on Twitter, the fact that CP3, like every team that he jumps on, he just makes him that much better. So he's like the bar rescue of basketball, pretty much, which is a hilarious take on that. Not my joke. No, it was Twitter. I saw that on Twitter. I don't know who it was, but it was hilarious.
That is hilarious. Yeah. I will say that Chris Paul is very talented, but I don't think he will help the Suns. I think the Suns are paper champs even at the 2nd seed.
I mean, he's always hurt during the playoffs, so it's like,
And, okay, look, DeAndre Ayton, matching up with the Lakers, right?
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton against Andre Drummond and Anthony Davis.
Yeah, AD too, no.
Yeah. And then having Marc Gasol coming off as a bench member. It was, say what you want about Marc Gasol. He might not be a great starter, but, for him to come off the bench now, this is probably a better position for him.
Yeah, it sounds like he's cool about it. It's I think I read something where he said that, well, this is like my role now, and I'll do whatever I have to do kind of thing. I can't, it's not an exact quote. I want to pull a Shannon Sharp KD feud right now with Marc Gasol. I'm trying to avoid that. But, yeah, from my understanding, he's, accepting the role and kind of, I guess he's transitioning into it.
And then I also heard that Marc Gasol read something on Twitter about him talking about his brother having herpes. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I heard.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's what I read on Twitter.
Which brother?
He said pal.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, did he say that again? Did I hear that right?
No,
oh, God. I was like, what? What kind of show is this?
I was trying to do Shannon Katie right there. I was trying to pull up the fake quote.
I thought you were pulling I thought it was Love Line all of a sudden with Dr. Drew, with Dr. Zach. I'm like, wait, what? What are we talking about now?
Well, herpes I've experienced before, and here's how you can treat them.
roll tape. I don't know.
So the Lakers, again, back to Saturday because we love to live in the past.
Of course.
The Lakers beat the Nets, I thought by 25, 126 to 101. Dennis Schroeder, who was also ejected with Kyrie Irving, shot 7 of 11 from the field, 19 points, and then Kyrie ended up with 6 of 11 with 18 points. So as much as the Nets fans want to say, like, well, you took out Kyrie. It's like you had 2.5, if not 3 quarters, to have your point guard go off on the Lakers. Yeah. He didn't, and the Lakers were just barely up at that point.
How funny is that? Like, once again, just, I just, it's one of those things where one thing Phil Jackson taught us, especially us Laker fans, is that defense wins you championships. And the fact that this is something that we're familiar with, going, hey, look at this defense. Like, that's a good thing because that's going to get us through, the postseason and eventually, hopefully, knock on wood, we repeat again. So, hey, defense wins championships. Let's keep doing what we're doing. And it's just imagine how they're going to be once AD and LeBron come back. I'm curious if they're still going to be on this same wavelength or they're going to, if it's kind of like, I don't know, rattle the cage just a little bit, having them to readjust.
We said it last week. It's the silver lining that the star players are out because this is making the role players that were having to step up, more self-reliant. Yeah. And this is what they really need. Like sometimes the Clippers, the reason why I was afraid of the Clippers at one point of the season is because when I see the Clippers, Kawhi can be out, Paul George can be out, and the team can still just be automatic. Like they could just run like a piston engine, right? Like the Lakers are now learning how to be that where they can self-automate when the stars are not in.
Yeah, they can feed themselves. They're like, when your parents would leave you home, you're like, all right, you know where the food's at? Bulls are there. And like, okay, next thing you know, you're eating eggs and cereal and toast for dinner, which is weird.
Because this is even daunting. I shared this on the Fear LA page last night. I was like, so on April 12th, 2019, was the 2-year anniversary of that picture of Luke Walton, who was still the head coach on the Lakers, when he was on the bench. And like, I'm not sure if you guys remember the whole play, but like Lonzo Ball turn over the ball against, I want to say it was the New Orleans Pelicans, but when Lonzo Ball was on the Lakers, he turned over the ball, and it was like Luke Walton gave this depressed look as if like he wasn't even looking at the camera, but it was almost as if he should have because it was like, I'm about to lose my job. Like he gave like this depressed look, like.
I vaguely remember it, but I do.
I totally remember that. I 100% remember that. It was like at first like a head shake, and then like just a deep dead inside, like stare off into the crowd.
You see Mark Mattson in back of him, just like looking down, like, all right, what else is next? Like, just look at the play.
Resume.
So it's like comparing that to now, like the Lakers back then, if you remember the stats at that time, it was all reliant on like LeBron James because it was like we're plus 14 with LeBron on the floor, we're minus 20 with LeBron not playing. It was just like so imbalanced on the two teams.
Yeah. So which is good. Like I mean, like I said, like the silver lining is that they're going to be self-reliant and just learn to be better. So. My only concern is that when LeBron comes back, because I just hope they don't go, oh, okay, whew, dad's home. Like just laid back down and like kind of let stepdad take over and do stuff. But I don't know. But I think they're smart enough and I think they're hungry enough because I think they face a lot of criticism and they're kind of proving themselves right now.
With the Lakers beating the Nets, granted, the Nets probably this could have been a step in the wrong way, right? They could have stepped in a hole. This could have been just like an unfortunate outcome, right? Yeah. Like the Nets, I know, are being praised. They're being crowned by some media outlets as like the champion. But to me, when I see this heavyweight type of matchup, James Harden wasn't playing. Yeah, okay, Kevin Durant was minute restrictions. The one thing that was so exposed was their front court.
Yeah.
So that's why the Lakers kept on giving it to Drummond because LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin couldn't guard him.
How hilarious is that? Everyone was saying, "Oh, Blake Griffin back. Oh, they're going to be unstoppable in the paint." Dude, Drummond. The fact that that one play with LaMarcus where he did the too small.
Yeah,
I died. I took a screenshot and I'm like, okay, I'm sending this to people because that was hilarious to me. So it's one of those things where it's kind of fun because it's like, hey, we have a center. We have a center. Hey, we got a center. We're good.
And it's not like you have two centers to make up for one like you did with JaVale and Dwight.
Yeah.
Because that was just like hot and cold each game.
No, they just had to jump on each other's shoulders to match, Drummond's power. But no, this time Drummond could just be in there. And I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
Because I think we're going to be fine.
Okay, so Anthony Davis. You got Andre Drummond.
Go on.
Montrezl Harrell.
Oh.
Montrezl Harrell, who has stepped up not just offensively as a star. He was the reigning six-man player of the year last year with the amazing stats that he put up for the Clippers, but he has now shined as a starter with the absence of the star players. He is also increased the value on the defensive end of the floor, which is shocking enough.
Yeah, because he wasn't known for that on the Clippers.
Clippers were like, okay, good luck. We'll see how he does on the defensive end. Much luck like you did with us.
And all of a sudden,
maybe it was Doc. Maybe it's just the head coach.
Oh, maybe it could have been the coach. Maybe it could have been everybody else, but who knows? But it's probably the coach.
Yeah, it's probably
the coach. Don't ask me. My sister's my sister. My daughter's a whore. That's all I know. That Paul George.
I don't know go that far, Doc.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought it was my day.
It is. It is glorious days right now for the Lakers. Of course, we're playing the what if game. Like, if the Lakers are healthy, if we don't know what the future can hold.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the chips that are on the table look very promising for the Lakers going forward.
Let's get this postseason going already. That's all I'm saying.
Ben McLemore. Already. Ben McLemore proved his assets with the Nets. I know it seemed very discouraging for him to shoot, but the fact that the team is like reassuring him, like, no, please shoot. The reason why he came on the team is to shoot. He hit 4 critical threes in the Nets game.
Was it him or McKinney that's out for?
McKinney's out for protocols.
For protocols, which is hilarious because, like, of course they took him out. He was partying or whatever after he getting like a good showing. But yeah, McLemore, you called it. You praised McLemore, so the fact that we're seeing it, I'm excited. The fact that we have productive players, well, not all of our players are productive, but one that seems a little bit more like not afraid to shoot the ball.
I will say this though: if Wes Matthews did his job, there would be no reason to get Ben McLemore.
Yeah, I mean,
like Wes Matthews, I thought we were getting an upgrade of Danny Green. But he's just providing to be the service or the hole that is left by Danny Green.
He's El Hijo del Danny Green. That's what he is. He's that's son of Danny Green. For those that don't speak Mexican, I don't know. L.A. Don't speak Los Angeles. Unfortunately, he's not what we all thought he was going to be. But hey, I'll take McLemore. I'll let him just shoot threes and get hot all the time. So.
And then KCP, shout out to KCP who was very critical last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He is now shooting, I want to say, around 45, if not 50%, from the 3-point line this month.
Ooh, this month.
So he's already back into like postseason form from what he was at the start of this year, even like towards the end part of the NBA Finals.
The month of 420. That's interesting. That's a coincidence right there. KCP,
as Rob Pelinka would say, God came down. I forgot what he.
Yeah, what did he say? He brought bread from the road, or what? No,
Moses was lost in the desert, brought bread. And we just signed Contavious Caldwell-Pope. Contavious, talk to the media.
Hi, I'm God. I'm here to protect and serve. No, I'm sorry, we're not the police.
I mean, now that we look at it, Pelinka wasn't that off.
Dude, Pelinka's been on fire. Like every like there's a reason why they're photoshopping with him with like a fade and like
Bluetooth.
the Bluetooth,
the iPhone earphone.
Yeah, dude, I was dying. Or just I just remember I feel bad because I criticized the hell out of him when we first got him. Like, what is he doing?